my people. And if you're watching live, check us out on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast provider, you are most definitely my people. Welcome to another episode of Botched and Chair Shots. I am your host, a chef by trade, no mark by choice. I am the Will Gray. And joining me tonight is a very, very special cast of people, ladies and gentlemen. We are joined to kick off this subathon by none other than our brothers to the north, because they start an hour after us, and that's how it works in my brain. They're the homies from the table spot. What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Yo.
Tommy's here. He's first. Scal's here. Al's here.
I'm not here.
What's up, everybody? Pluggo Man, how are you, brother? What's good, family? So, you guys good?
Yep.
I'm really good.
You're really good. I like it. My favorite Dom and all her subs. That's right. She's got a cast of a very cast of merry men tonight. One of those is, if Al is my right hand, he would be my left. He is the co-host of the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack Nerdy News at 420, Boyfriend Time, and Botch Spots and Share Shots. It's everybody's favorite Ginger Ninja. It's our boy Jaxbo.
Hello.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Buddy. I'm doing fantastic like always. It's Sunday. It's going to be a fun day.
We're kicking
It's
off
gonna be a
48
fun
hours.
2
Man.
days.
You ready for this?
Let me see. The correct answer would be no, because I'm never ready for anything, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it to it. I'm going to go rock hard at it like Juice Robinson.
Rock hard like Juice Robinson. And as always, perched upon her iron throne in the boss bitch's corner, she is the Beyonce to my Hova. She is the Bonnie to my Clyde. She's the brains behind Rivet City Radio. It's the boss bitch, Al. Al, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, you're always super cranky with subathon, so that's always
It is what it is.
it is what it is. I mean, y'all all get cranky because you stay up, but
See, the good thing about it is we've got at least 3 full-time guys this time. Okay. And we've got like 5 and 6 other subs that are coming on and tagging in and out, helping us keep going. So I think it's going to be really, really well done. Shadow, thank you. It's good to see you, bud. Thanks for stopping by. Husky is here. What's up, Husky? Yo. But guys, this is my favorite part of the week. I start it the same way every time. It's maybe my favorite question to ask in pro wrestling. What has you pissed off for greatness? What has you the most worked up? Good, bad, indifferent. It could be a gear. It could be a match. It could be a finish. It could be a story. I don't care. What has you pissed off for greatness? Somebody start talking or I will call names.
All right. I'll cut the cheese on this one. The NWA last night was fucking amazing.
So good.
This is the first NWA full one from match 1 to the end of the card I've watched in a long time. The Matt Cardona, Billy Corbin interaction was amazing. The ending, I felt like they built into a storyline going forward with EC3, Matt Cardona, and Tom Latimer. That's some greatness right there.
I love everything about that. Did anybody else watch NWA live last night?
no, because you fucked watched it without me.
I didn't watch it. I'm not going to get into that.
Just
The
kidding.
way we go.
AJ says wrestlers asking for their release from MLW. We know Hammerstone. We know Lance Anoa'i, and we know the other dude, the heavyset gentleman. What's his name?
Juicy Fanu.
Yeah, Juicy Fanu. Where are you guys at? What do you guys think about the MLW guys asking for their releases?
It's about time for Hammerstone. He's bound for something greater.
You think he's ready?
He's ready for at least NWA, TNA, fucking even AEW.
Oh, I can see
I don't see
Hammerstone in
him.
NWA.
I don't see him in WWE yet. I don't.
You don't think he's WWE ready, or you don't think he's ready yet? Like he needs just a little bit longer on the indie scene?
For knowing Hammerstone as long as I have, I just feel like he's not really. He doesn't really care to go. He's not really.
Anybody else pissed off for greatness?
Oh,
Yeah, I'll go. I would say it's the it's the WWE entrance themes. I think a lot of people don't really talk about the importance of a really good entrance theme. It's kind of stitched into a wrestler's character, and it just gives them more personality along with their gimmick and things like that. And right now, the current era of WWE entrance themes right now for me are just absolutely terrible. Like I don't know what happened, but like there's some that are still really good, but there's a lot that are just like the wrestlers either had really good themes and they changed them, and now the theme is garbage, or like I know like Sammy I almost said Sammy Guevara, Sami Zayn is a prime example. Like his interesting was really good. Then they transitioned to something else. Then they went back because so his old theme is back now, and that's a plus because this old interest theme is amazing. It gets the crowd hype. Once you hear it, as soon as you hear it, you know it's Sami Zayn. A lot of these interest themes now, they've changed them to a point where they all sound generic. They all sound the same. There is music hit. You're just like, who is this? Oh, okay, it's Rhea Ripley. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know who it is until they come out because they've changed their theme songs that we knew what knew what they sounded like even before they came out through the curtain. Now it's like, I don't know who it is unless their names come up on the jumbotron or they come out on the entrance ramp. So that's what's got me pissed off right now.
No, I agree. Rhea's music before Judgment Day was so much better. Like,
This is my virgin.
I love.
Yeah.
So Rhea Ripley's entrance, I love both. The first one was done by a band called New Year's Day. Freaking
They were the first members of the Botched Spots and Share Shots Hall of Fame. Me and their lead singer got. Oh yeah, me and Ash got into it
Really?
big fucking time online.
So
Oh, yeah.
I call Maria Brink from In This Moment the Queen of Metal, and I call Ash
Love
Costello
her.
the Princess of Metal. Okay, but Motionless in White is my top favorite metalcore band. They are from literally an hour away from where I live. Seen these guys 9 times live. I really hope they play her to the ring at WrestleMania 40. It'd be really awesome and fitting to the fact that they're from Pennsylvania, and they did a great job with this entrance. I love Rhea Ripley's new entrance.
I said the night of her entrance at WrestleMania 37 when they played her
Yeah,
out when
when
Ash
Ash-
Costello came out.
Yeah.
I said that night that I was sent a tweet out. It was very unapologetic, but what I said was we need to start a GoFundMe. That way we could make sure Ash Costello could still pay her bills, but never have to write or perform music ever again. And that's what started the chain effect of her and I getting into it on Twitter and Instagram. She started posting she messaged me, and Al can verify this because I was sending her the screenshots, and she was messaging me and then posting our messages on her like story and shit.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm sorry, because she was saying like they didn't get a sound check. And I was like, you mean to tell me you were so low on the card that Vince didn't think you needed a sound check at WrestleMania? Like, that's how low you were. Like, and she was like, great bands go all the time without sound checks. And I was like, no, they don't.
No, they
No,
don't.
they don't.
Almost every band goes on.
I have worked
sound
for
checks.
numerous bands, and
Mhm.
not one headlining band goes, "Oh well, fuck it, we don't need a sound check." No, their
There's no
shit
need
is
for a
sound check
sound
and
check.
pre-ready to go.
Yeah.
I love New Year's Day. Like, I've seen them live with In This Moment and Hailstorm. Like, they toured all three together several years ago, and I went and saw them. Like, New Year's Day is not the best live. They're just,
I've never seen them live. Their recorded stuff, though, I like
their recorded stuff is great. She's just not super live.
See, I feel the same about Hailstorm. Seen them
Oh,
live.
also true. Also true. They were not super great. Like, metal is one of those things that's like,
It's just
live
Lizzie-
is not the best.
Lizzie feels like she needs to scream at every moment of her songs, and it's highly unnecessary at points. Like, I drummed for 20 years. I was a back vocalist for the band I played in. Like, there's certain points at times in songs that she does it at the most unnecessary freaking times in songs. And Can't stand it. But I want to piggyback off what Cam said about the entrance themes. I have an issue with some entrance videos, and that is when superstars use a picture of themselves. Example, Raquel has a picture of herself up on the board. Why she's coming out? Why? Like the name thing, I get it, cool, but play a little bit of like a video package of like in-match stuff or whatever. But why just a still frame picture?
They need to bring back Titantrons, damn it.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Please.
my pissed off for greatness. I will funnel off of Cam to Mike to me. Bring back fucking Titantrons. Give us the fucking video packages. Show us why Raquel's a badass instead of just showing us a fucking picture of her flexing her back.
And that back thing, like, what the hell is that? Like, why? What is the point of that flex? Like, it's annoying.
Your trapezius muscles look great, bro. I wish you could fucking wrestle.
It's because she doesn't have any titties.
Hey,
again.
I'm not kink shaming here. All boobs are good boobs.
Well, she has like negative.
Fact.
You have negative boobs. Even negative boobs still exist.
Negative.
Even negativities are positivities.
Right, but they, with all of the women, they try to, appeal to the sex appeal of them, and her front is not the sexiest part of her; it's her back. So that's why.
Yeah, that's why Cora Jade got the TV Tata surgery. So gotta have it for TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm dead. Negatitties. Negatitties. I'm trying to be positivities over here, and you're being real negatitties over there.
Negatitties.
It's not her.
Negatitties.
Minor shadows are bigger.
So, not to jump off the negatitties, but I have one that's wrestling related. It's not directly wrestling, but last night I went to New Japan last night, and after the show, obviously you can get the wrestlers and stuff or whatever after the show. But like obviously I was waiting on Eddie Kingston, and then obviously because they're walking around the casino, you can get them. They're cool with that, whatever. We go to TGI Fridays to eat because we were hungry as hell.
Because you wanted some goddamn nachos, bro.
And we waited there for 15 minutes, not even got served, not even seeing a waitress. One said, but we'll be there right in a second. So we left. We're like, let's just go. We'll go somewhere else. As soon as I'm walking out, Eddie Kingston comes walking in and sits down with ELP and Hikuleo. And I'm like, of course.
I would have gone back in. Fuck it. I would have gone back in.
No, I'm not the type to like bother them while they're trying to get some food or sitting down at the restaurant.
No, you sit close to them and eavesdrop, man.
Yeah.
You obviously don't know anything about like you do is you sit there and you start recording with your phone if you have it direct from the source. Then you say some real fucked up shit like, you remember when Eddie Kingston got his ass whipped? Then you'll trigger him because he's an angry New Yorker and he's gonna say something.
Yeah.
That's how you get his attention. Pick a fight with him, Sean. I'll teach you. Stick with me, kid. Just pick a fight with him.
I actually like Eddie Kingston, so.
Or what you do is just go back in, sit down, wait till they're done eating, then walk out at the same time as them.
I'm not that much of a stalker.
Wait till you go to the wait till they're in the bathroom with each other. And while he's peeing, be like, yo, man, what's up?
Yeah, because that's the place.
It's not.
I did meet Iron Sheik for the first time in the bathroom, just unexpectedly. So
that's where I met Nick Gage for the first time. Sean, before Al takes her pissed off her greatness, has anybody ever told you that you kind of look like Charles Manson?
Wow.
No.
Wow.
Okay. Hey, bud, you kind of look like Charles Manson. It's cool. It's a good look. Al, what has you pissed off for greatness?
So for me, this week, the only thing that really has pissed me off, and I've seen this happening to a bunch of female creators, just kind of, putting this out there. The men of the IWC need to stop treating the female creators like we don't know what we're talking about. Yes, there are some creators that are pretending to like wrestling and just show you titties and like hashtag wrestle talk and literally never speak about anything other than I like Roman Reigns. You
Here
know,
are my boobies.
here are my boobies.
I'm fine with that.
It's okay. Cam's like, my algorithm's perfect. I'm okay.
But I'm just, just because we're women doesn't mean that our opinions should be ignored or that you can just come after everything that we say. Like I've seen it happen to several women creators this week. Respect the ladies, gentlemen.
Respect the ladies.
Yes, Jess.
I'm gonna piggyback off you right now, Al. I'm gonna turn into Al for a second.
Al's 5'3". I would love to see your big ass piggyback on Al.
I'm about to piggyback off Al. Let me tell you this. I fucking dare. Y'all can clip this if you want to. Some of these Wrestle Talk guys to try to go head to head with Al. Al will run fucking circles. She runs circles around me, and I've been watching wrestling my whole goddamn life. And there is a ton of creators out there that are female that could run circles around us guys, hands down. And they know how to play the algorithm in my book.
You can't hate the player.
That's all it is.
Yeah, hate the game. Hate the fact that your boobies aren't good enough to hit the algorithm. I'm going to start making thirst traps. I'm telling y'all, that feet finder's coming in hot. That's how we're going to get to Tampa. If the subathon don't work out, I'm starting a feet finder.
Scales, I'll send you some TikToks so that you can get on
We'll start feeding the algorithm.
the fake thirst trap wrestling girls.
I mean, you can send it to me too. Just
I'll send them to all.
We'll make a group chat,
A
for
group
science.
chat for science.
Al,
Will.
news and rumors.
News and rumors. AEW's John Moxley calls for a major change in the industry after suffering a concussion in the ring last month. Moxley's proposed vision for a system on how to better wrestlers, quote, maybe a really experienced wrestler and a really experienced doctor who are trained to see signs of that shit are watching on a separate feed. Even if they have a doctor close to ringside, what if the guy fucking spills outside the ring? He doesn't see that. As soon as the doctor sees a sign of somebody being concussed, he just hits the fucking red button. Boom, this is over. No matter how much time is left, no matter if it's on live TV or live TV, it's just over and you figure it out from there. So basically, he's wanting to initiate kind of like the NFL protocol. Like if someone's showing signs of concussions, like you stop. I don't disagree with him. I think that they need to do this. I mean, it's scary for them. I mean, look how long it took Adam Cole to get over his concussion.
Brian Danielson. I mean, Mox is having a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, the moment he was dropped down on that during that match, it should have been stopped right there.
You really have to look at it from the perspective too. I didn't mean to cut you off, Mike. I'm sorry. Mox has done some shit. This is the same guy who had the skewer stuck in his head. The same dude who did the wild, "What's up, noob? How are you, bro? Thanks for stopping by." This is the same dude who was getting thrown through cages and glass and was the king of the death match. And this injury scared him enough that even Moxley is going, "Okay, guys, this is what we need to do to fix this."
Kim, you wanted to say something?
No, I feel like it's ironic. I feel like it's ironic coming from Moxley because that's just what off of Will said, and so it's crazy. Out of all the crazy stuff and the crazy spots that he does, on a regular in his matches, it's crazy to me that this one particular injury, serious injury, might I add, is the one that like woke him up, and that was like, okay, now this is something serious we need to do. I thought WWE had something in place for that. I thought they had a concussion protocol thing. Maybe I could be mistaken. I don't know, but I definitely agree with what he's saying, especially AEW because they take a lot of more high flying spots and dives and all this stuff like that, and table spots and all that stuff like that. No pun intended. But
Are there
yeah,
spots,
I definitely think that
and table spots.
I definitely think that AEW should definitely get a concussion protocol in place. Just because of their style. So
I think what it might be too is the fact that one, he's getting older. Two, his life has changed drastically in the past 4 or 5 years. Got married, has a kid. That could be the thing too. That stuff's running through his head now. Like, maybe I shouldn't be doing all this crazy shit. Maybe I need to calm down.
He said this injury scared him more than any other injury he's had.
And plus, with the CTE testings and stuff now,
Yeah. No.
You ain't wrong.
Moving on. There are 2 alleged cases of WWE tampering that Tony Khan took personally. Per Fightful, Sean Ross Sapp says one was Swerve Strickland, who was approached for a Hit Row reunion shortly after signing a long-term deal with AEW. The other was it became abundantly clear WWE was talking to William Regal about a return with Khan's mother when Khan's mother was in the hospital.
I'll call names.
So WWE was talking to William Regal while Tony Khan's mom was in the hospital.
Yeah, so they're trying to they poached him back away from AEW, and they're saying that like they were trying to poach Swerve away too. Swerve obviously didn't work.
That's one of the big forbidden rules.
Correct. That's why Tony Khan's making such a big deal about it.
I mean, in a sense, you can't blame him for making a big deal about it, because what if he had plans? What if he had plans for William Regal moving forward?
I mean, he obviously did, because they were building that whole thing with him and MJF, and then it just
died off suddenly. It's like we got the help for him to win the world title, and then that was it.
And they wrote him off TV by MJF turning the next night. That's how quick it happened.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I mean, honestly, Regal went to AEW to piss off WWE and to get his job back. Like, he was mad about being released. He's like, well, fuck you guys. Like, I'm going to go over here and you're going to be sorry. And they were, and they took him back.
William Regal knew how to work that system with going through the Monday Night Wars. He knew exactly what he was doing. He went, I've been here, done that, watch this. And it, like Al said, he did exactly what he was meant to do. It got him his job back tenfold.
I think William Regal just knew that Triple H finally took over, and he was like, okay, this is how I get my job back with Triple H. Got fuck Vince, and he went back.
Vince has been tampering forever.
Oh, yeah.
Vince is,
That's how he got Hogan from the AWA. That's how he got Macho Man from Memphis. That's how he got, what were they? The Minnesota Wrecking Crew, Arn Anderson and Tully, before they came over from the AWA, became the Brain Busters. Like, the row and list of tampering inside of WWE and what's happened in Connecticut is 1,000,000 miles long when you look at it. So this goes along the same lines as Vince doing shady stuff, like running media calls at the same time as as AEW, or Vince running shows the same weekend as AEW, and all of the things they've been doing. And now Hunter's doing the same thing, because that's how WWE became the biggest wrestling company in the world, was by being cutthroat. If they hadn't done this stuff, keep in mind, Vince McMahon bought the company from his dad with $1 million loan from his dad. He borrowed the $1 million from his old man. He bought the company, then leveraged all of that and became WrestleMania 1 in 85. Like, he may be a shady, sniveling, piece of shit, twisted human being, but he may be the best businessman to ever do it. He took $1 million and turned it into a $10 billion company in, 40 years?
That's impressive.
Yeah, and I mean, you go back to even with the Hogan one. Hogan signed with oh my gosh, who the hell was it they signed with before he went to WWF?
He was in the AWA,
Right.
and then Vince made him go to New Japan so he could learn how to wrestle.
Yeah, like it was not that wasn't a long split either. It was what, like 3 months or something like that.
Yeah, he wasn't gone long.
Yeah, he was
You know
not.
what's funny about that though, Will? Is he wrestled better in New Japan than he ever did in WWE.
He won at the time. It was the first time they did. It was the IWGP League before the G1 became the G1. It used to be called the Madison Square Garden League. Then it became the IWGP League. Then it became, whatever. Then they named it after a fucking horse race because Japanese wrestling. Why not? So when he competed in it in 1983, it was still the IWGP League. And he was the second non-Eastern born person to win it. Because Andre won it, I believe, in 81 or 82, and then Hogan won it in 83. Also, that being said, Antonio Inoki body slammed Andre the Giant in Japan 4 years before Hogan did it in Madison Square Garden.
But back then, it was whatever wasn't on TV wasn't.
It wasn't canon, right?
Yeah. Just
Now
like
it's-
you're talking
sorry.
about when Hogan slammed him in the baseball stadium, right?
No. The Shea show you're talking about
Oh,
was
you
the
said
WWE.
Square Garden. My
Yeah, WrestleMania 3 was when they did the
first ever Andre
body
slam.
slam.
Like he did it way
He's-
before.
He did slam him at Shea, but
Yeah.
Shea was a live, syndicated, what was it back then? It wasn't a pay-per-view. It was like a closed circuit, TV broadcast or whatever it was called. That was the Shea Stadium show. Who are you timing out, Shadow? You can't time me out because of Al. I can already tell you.
And they also played it that Hogan was the first one to do it, correct?
Time out Sean ×2, heard.
They were
Sean, I'll see you in 60 seconds, Bubba.
they were claiming that Hogan was the first one to do it too, right?
Yeah, Hogan was the first person to slam Andre, even though multiple people had done it before.
But like Inoki, yeah, and Big John Studd did it.
I'm about to say John Studd slammed him's ass.
Yeah.
Because he did it in that if he was able to slam Andre, he'd win money. He'd
Yeah.
win $1 million. Yeah.
Bingo. But it didn't happen because it's not canon in Connecticut. That's a good name for an article. Canon in Connecticut. Like all the shit in wrestling that's happened that WWE doesn't think is real. Nobody take that. That's trademark. 30 minutes, 20 seconds into the second thought. Y'all take my shit. I'll see you.
Airing next week.
Like 4 different podcasts are going to have that on the show next week now. God damn it. Al, I think it's back to you now.
Yeah, per House of Wrestling, the demand for Survivor Series tickets is so high that WWE is not offering comps to talent or staff, and production may be scaled back to open up as many seats as possible.
How high is it?
I don't know.
Is it Jacksbo high?
I'm pretty fucking high.
Cam, you're the resident AEW guy, the host of the with Cam G on Wednesday nights here on AEW or here on Rivet City Radio, not on AEW. What do you think about the hot conversation week over week is always the attendance. Who sells the most tickets, when, where, why, and how many? What do you think about the argument going back and forth? I say you're the AEW guy. I know you hate that mantra, but being the host of an AEW themed show, what do you think when you hear WWE is opening more tickets when AEW is having trouble selling them?
I think it's a W. It's a W for WWE. And again, I think it's another flex. You know, we can sell tickets and y'all can't. So, but it's mainly due to all this, CM Punk talk. Obviously, it's in Chicago. Chicago's still one of the hottest markets for wrestling. Those people out there are just absolutely maniacs for professional wrestling. So, it doesn't really surprise me. And I don't know about CM Punk being in the Survivor Series. I'm not sure, but I mean, it would be a W if they did deliver CM Punk at that show. That would be amazing. That crowd would go insane. You know, that's obviously their hero. That's their hero, as like to Indy, and Pat McAfee's our hero. Like it's just that crazy. So it's a W, honestly.
I'm gonna piggyback off on what you say and just say that I'm gonna laugh when CM Punk doesn't show up. You know,
You're gonna laugh and see him. Cam, I got to time you out for 30 seconds, but Scouse times you out. I'll see you in 30.
That's fine.
I will say this though: if you look at the crowd in Philly this past week, that was a pretty decent crowd for AEW. I think one of their big issues is they run the same market multiple times a year within the span of 3 to 4 months. Like if they're down in Texas, you're seeing them in Texas 2-3 months later. If they're up in Chicago, they're there 2-3 months later. This was their first time in Philly since I believe like February. So a good 6-7 months. And they had a pretty decent crowd at the Lacora Center. So I think that's one of their big issues is running the same market in a span of time.
yeah, because they barely run the West Coast either. They barely run the West Coast. They stay Midwest, East Coast for some odd reason. And if they expand to like what WWE does, go to certain states like a month like they do, then I'm sure they'll increase revenue instead of going to we'll have Chicago in August. We'll go back to Chicago in October. Like, no, like there's 50 states, there's a million different countries. Well, don't quote me on that because I'm just exaggerating. But yeah, there's multiple things you can go to and then increase your revenue and ticket sales instead of wearing out a certain market each time.
Yeah, because WWE they play it pretty good. I mean, they don't go back to the same market within the span of 6 months. Like, for example, we're getting a house show here in December. We haven't had a house show here in almost close to a year. I know it's not televised, but even for house shows, like they're selling out house shows. So it's the marketing thing. I think it's just going to the same market.
To that point too, Mike. I agree with that a lot, and I also feel like how they should be treating their new all-in show. I'm assuming now this is going to be a yearly thing. Now they've already announced that they're going back to Wembley.
Yep.
So that was one of the things that I think I had talked about before, where I was hoping they weren't going to go back to Wembley. They should be treating All In like their experimental market pay-per-view. Go to different places they've never been before. Small venues, big venues, huge venues. They should just be going all over the place and testing the waters of new markets that they've never been to before. That's essentially what WWE started doing. Now they're going to Germany next year.
Germany.
So they're doing that yearly market. Let's test the waters. Let's go to different places. Let's go to Japan. Let's go to Germany. Let's go to Saudi. Like let's go to these different markets we've never been to before. That's how you grow your fan base even more. Go to places you've never been before.
And with AEW partner with New Japan, they can easily sell out the Tokyo Dome. Easily.
There you go.
Let me play devil's advocate with you, though. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the territories because that's what I do. Okay, Jim Crockett Promotions. They ran in the Southeast. That was what they were known for, right? Everybody knew that if you tried to stretch too thin and you try to branch out into other territories, it could spell disaster for you.
Yeah.
JCP branched out and went to Chicago. And that started to spell the end for them when they branched that far west. Do you think Tony Khan is trying to learn from history and he's running in the same cities because he's comfortable with them? He knows the markets will sell. He knows the local indie scene will book. So, do you think it's a consistency thing and he's comfortable there? Shadow said it back. It's complacent. I think me and Shadow are saying the same thing. I'm trying to say it in a little bit nicer way. I think Shadow's saying it's insanity. What I'm saying is, do you think Tony Khan's playing it safe by booking these same cities because he knows he can put asses in seats? about every 12 inches.
Well,
Absolutely.
here's the thing. They have a national TV deal where almost every home has a TNT or a TBS. They can afford to test those waters. It's not going to kill them overnight. And they might actually be surprised that these certain markets want to see AEW because they don't get it. They don't get a live AEW. So it's like I get what you're saying with back then when there's territories, but these nowadays we have social media, we have live television, we have streaming devices, we have pay-per-views that they sell. They have so many avenues of advertisement and streaming and everything they can use to have these markets want them and want AEW. And then you can't, in 2023, with the age of social media, you can't be comfortable in what you're doing. You got to explore those markets.
I think the one thing too, and I'm not too sure on this, but this is what I'm guessing. Like if you go back to what was it, 2019, Ring of Honor did Madison Square Garden. They sold it out, and then
Hold on.
they didn't.
They sold it out with New Japan though.
Yes, with New Japan, they did. Okay, but this really isn't my point of the fact that they sold that out. My point is I think it is going back to the territory things that Will was kind of putting out there. Is, for example, Madison Square Garden is known as a WWE venue. It just so happens Ring of Honor and New Japan were able to sell it out once. Never was able to piggyback off that, Ring of Honor at least. Right? Could we be going back to the point where WWE has certain markets? Like, for example, they go to Saudi once every 6 to 8 months. I don't think we'll ever see an AEW show in Saudi because that's WWE's area. That's their territory. When it comes to one, go ahead.
Oh, if you ask Vince McMahon now, he said yesterday at the UFC event that they went to yesterday, Saudi is now WWE's home.
And that's what I mean, is I don't think we'll ever see it. See, I think London is more of the neutral ground for both. I don't think it's either ors. Like, if WWE is going to play London, they'll probably they'll have like the O2 Arena. But
and to speak on why Tony Khan won't go to AEW, he says he doesn't want that blood money as well. He's come out multiple times saying he's against Saudi shows.
That's because they're bought shows. I talked about this the other day on TikTok. Like, the Saudi government buys those tickets and it ultimately forces the fans to attend live. I likened it to what happened in North Korea with the collision in Korea. Yeah, they put 150,000 asses in seats for the largest wrestling show in history. But those fans weren't there because they chose to be. They were there because their government made them go. Huge difference. And we do miss you, Jamie. We love you.
But what I was finishing up saying, like, London is like that neutral ground. No, it's okay. Like WWE, they'll run the O2. Now AEW, they'll run Wembley. And that will be their grounds when they go to London. Now, like we had, Sean. Like we had, for example, John Cena came out, cut that promo saying, how would it feel to have WrestleMania come to London? But he, in all the places he mentioned, did not mention Wembley Stadium in that promo. So I think with London being the neutral ground, they have their own places, and Wembley is AEW's.
Yeah.
Tony also has that the Cons have that strong connection through the NFL with Wembley also.
Yeah, they
Well,
do.
I mean, they have the strong thing of owning, a football team over in London, so they're able to run, like, they have the connection with the NFL because of owning the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and there's been multiple talks all the time about, hey, Jacksonville should just end up going and moving to London, but that would be an issue if they did that. Not only for them, but for all the other teams in the league when it comes to travel. There'd be a way to do it, but it's all about doing it the proper way. Like if for example, the Eagles were going to go over there and play them, then the Eagles should have their bye week the week before they go play them there, just so they have time to travel, get used to the time change, all that stuff. Because that's just like there's talks about what if a team moved to Mexico City because they play in Mexico City. They're going to be playing a game in Germany or played a game in Germany. Like they're branching out to different markets. And it's a success for them because they're selling out the stadiums that they're playing in.
No, agree. Back to something Cam said a bit ago about, Punk in Chicago for Survivor Series and all that, just circling back, and then I'm going to go to the next thing. Booker T on a podcast this week said, what value does a person like that bring to your company? I mean, I'm just being honest here. What is the win in getting CM Punk? I don't see one.
I think there's more so of a win and a lose with it. And it all depends on what CM Punk you're going to get.
Fair.
You know what I mean? Because you can have CM Punk, the guy who is willing to help out the guys and girls in the back. But if a guy or girl says, I respectively decline, how's he gonna take it?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then that's where he flies off the handle and then starts going to these press conferences and saying all this stuff and then blows it. But at the end of the day, still getting the money.
So you're saying he has a fragile ass ego, like we knew he does.
Yeah. So moving on.
Can we answer? I want to ask a question real quick from the chat. Shadow he says, question though, I want an answer. You have to say, please, sir. We have manners here. Shadow would like to know kindly, should Brian stop having matches with Okada, 2 matches to significant injuries? What are your guys' thoughts?
No.
It's just a fluke.
Yeah.
Okada's been the man for a long time. He does not have a track record of working stiff and hurting people. So I'm going to say no, too. I think these are just fluke accidents with DB, and it sucks.
It could also be the fact that Daniel Bryan, he's starting to finally feel the effects of not so much his injury is coming back in the full effect, but he's starting to feel that soreness of the injury from the past. And it could be affecting him.
Yeah. Ow.
So, according to Daddy Meltzer, the down-the-line teases from WWE indicate Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, Rhea versus Becky, Jimmy versus Jay, and Charlotte versus Jade. All of these are planned for a major event, though it's unclear which major shows these matches will take place on. I mean, we all kind of knew.
WrestleMania 40.
That's pretty much night 1 and the first couple matches of night 2 when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because I think women's main event night 1 and then Jade and Charlotte will be the co-main event for night 2. If I were to bet.
I just hope there's no title involved for Jade and Charlotte.
There shouldn't be.
I don't think so.
There doesn't need to be. Both of those women are way big enough for them not to need a title at Mania.
They can have a solid mid-card match for night 2.
And destroy it and put on a fucking banger of a match, too.
Agree. Meltzer also says that Matt Riddle's people have already been in talks with a number of pro wrestling, MMA, and boxing companies regarding working there. His non-compete goes through December, however, so nothing can be announced before then. Does anybody care about where Matt Riddle goes?
Nope, but he's going to Wrestling Revolver.
So is Ronda Rousey.
I can see Sami Callihan doing that.
That's
Yo,
right.
you know what?
Fuck
Let me
Matt
get Riddle.
Ritter over Riddle.
Riddle over Riddle,
baby.
Riddle.
In a surprising turn of events, WWE feels there's enough star power at Crown Jewel to avoid using Brock Lesnar, which is why he isn't on the Saudi show for the first time ever.
Yes. Let's go. Let's go.
I have a feeling he's going to be a surprise at some point in the show.
Sean, stop talking this stuff into existence, please.
No, I mean they've said that he's. I mean there's no reason to bring him in for any purpose. Like there's literally no storyline that he would complement at this point.
No.
Just because I want to see Cam lose it, I'd love to see Brock Lesnar show up, F5 Roman, and set up a match at WrestleMania 40 for it.
God damn it.
I just noticed something, Al. Sean's in Justice's house.
Sean is in Justice's house.
How'd you get
He
in
is.
Justice's house, dude?
I don't know who Justice is, but you know.
Just
He uses that same background, and he uses that one, and he uses the grocery store. But I just thought of it. I was like, Sean's in Justice's living room. Like,
Cora Jade got a little nasty on Twitter this week about her return. She said, "Stop asking me to return to WWE NXT. It sucks there, and I'm better than everyone. Ask me about something that's worth my time. I'm sick of it." That correlates to reports that they have no timetable for her to return at all to NXT. So they're basically just not writing her into storylines.
Who is this?
Cora Jade.
was she the one that used to come out with the skateboard? Is that Avril Lavigne's little sister?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
cool. No, I don't like her. I don't care if she comes back.
Jesus Christ.
She should have came out to Skater Boy. That'd have been a good entrance for her. Entrance to Skater Boy.
Yeah, dude, fuck yeah. I've called her Avril Lavigne's little sister since I thought of it. I could never remember what her actual name was. I have to ask every time.
It's not clear just yet what direction for Survivor Series will be, but Meltzer did say that Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, champion versus champion match is not happening. Also, apparently, Drew McIntyre still has not signed a contract. Several top stars, among other talent, have not been approached about new contracts that are coming up in 2024. There is apparently a new way of doing things now that Endeavor owns WWE.
Probably because they have different rules in place now. Like,
Probably.
for example, you go back to the beginning of the pandemic era, some of the superstars were getting told about like their Twitch channels and stuff like that. Where Endeavor is probably like, okay, we got to work out something in the deals now because we're going to allow them to do this stuff, whether they build a revenue off of it or not. And they probably got to work something into the contracts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of a change.
Yeah. No, I agree. After WWE announced Bash in Berlin, Fightful reported that a PLE in Paris has been discussed heavily. Some internal schedules in the company have next year's Backlash taking place in the French capital.
It'd be crazy to take that away from Puerto Rico, man. That crowd was so fucking hot.
Dude, leaving in Puerto
Yeah,
Rico.
but we just talked about going back to markets. Too much.
Yeah.
If you go once a year, that's not too much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
but they're trying to move. The whole point of what I was saying was they're trying to move around to different markets, and
No,
then they
I
can
agree.
circle back around. You know what I mean?
I agree with Cam. Like, if they're, they should not keep their pay-per-views in the same place every year. Like, it's better for business to move it around. So I think going to Paris is a good move because that's kind of an untapped market. I mean, who runs in France? Literally no one.
What
Nobody.
the fuck do you know? It's not like you have a marketing degree.
It's not like I have a marketing degree. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Was that a bazinga?
Sports Illustrated's Justin, what is it, Barrasso?
Barrasso.
Writes that Logan Paul is expected to walk away with the U.S. title after his match with Rey Mysterio at Crown Jewel. How do y'all feel about Logan Paul having the title?
I'm for it. I am totally for it. I'm
Why?
totally for it.
I don't like it, but it makes sense for the time being. It's a publicity stunt to get the title. I don't know, more prestige or put a spotlight on it. And
So he could
Paul's
be the-
probably the person to put it on.
So he could be the mid card Roman Reigns and never show up.
I mean, but here's the thing: he's the perfect transitional title because it's obviously obvious they want to give it to Santos, right? That's right. Am I right? Santos?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but they don't want Ray and Santos to go after each other. Like Santos can't win dirty and he can't win clean because then that like blows up the LWO. So having Logan Paul as the transition between the two is perfect because we know Logan Paul's not going to stick around. He'll be around for a couple of weeks. Him and Santos will have a match. He'll lose it to Santos.
I agree. I agree with what AJ said in the chat. LA Knight will beat Logan Paul.
I think it's going to be LA Knight and Logan Paul at Mania for it. I think they're going
I
to.
don't even think we wait that long.
Santos.
I don't even think we wait that long because I don't think Logan Paul's holding it till Mania. I really don't.
Well, I mean, you got to think Mania is not too far off. We're already going into November.
True, but I just don't
Maybe
see. I don't see him having that lengthy of a reign. Even still, I don't.
So what? He loses it to Santos and then gains it back before.
No, I honestly think they start building LA Knight after he ultimately loses to Roman at Crown Jewel. So we could see that title off Logan by the Rumble. I think
Even before, I think day one, like their day one, you know, if they do like a day one, whatever. After giving notice to the company last month, PCO decided to re-sign with Impact. According to House of Wrestling, that decision was made based on the energy around the TNA rebrand.
That's smart. I mean, ride the lightning, buddy. Ride the lightning.
And
Can I
especially,
change my pissed off for greatness?
Sure.
My pissed off for greatness this week. You ready for this, Bo? You're gonna love this. All right.
Okay. I'm all ears.
My pissed off for greatness this week are all these fair weather fucking like bandwagon fans that are all of a sudden like, God, I love TNA so much.
Thank you.
I love TNA. Like, fuck you guys. I've been preaching Impact for the last 3 years, and everybody's like, nobody likes Impact. Nobody likes Impact. Nobody likes Impact. Fuck you, bandwagon ass fair weather fans. I love TNA. Like, oh God, I'm so glad they're back. Fuck you.
It's the same thing. It's just a new fucking paint. New fucking paint.
Get
Well,
out
if
here.
you're getting this rowdy at an hour in, dude, I'm waiting for the 24-hour mark.
so I had
Oh boy.
at the beginning of this year of 2023, because I was away from Impact from watching it for a few years, but I would start paying attention to it about 2 years ago, like seeing what happened at pay-per-views and shows online and everything, but was never able to watch the weekly show. Beginning of 2023, I said, I don't give a shit. I'm ordering pay-per-views. I'm going to try my best to watch the weekly show, all that stuff. Like, I want to get back into Impact. They are making a turn for the better, and I want to be a part of this. So I did. Fast forward, I tell my one friend, hey, you know, Impact's getting better. I'm watching this. And he would bash Impact. And I said, dude, how can you bash something you don't even watch, let alone pay attention to? Well, I stopped because things went downhill, and I was like, things are starting to go uphill for them. By the summertime, by the end of May, he started watching. He said, I think Impact is probably the best pro wrestling out there right now.
There is video evidence that I have been, and I have shown Will the video evidence that I have been an Impact fan since 2003. And I don't just mean like watching it. I used to, because I come from a broken home, blah 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 bullshit. I used to spend my summers in Alabama, and my dad worked in Tennessee and he worked in Nashville. So, dude, I used to go to the weekly tapings.
Nice.
During the summer.
I'm excited to
been a ride or die.
I'm excited to go to Hard to Kill in January and to see the new sets because they're doing the TV tapings as well at Sam's Town. So that should be fucking sick as fuck to see because I've been a fan since like 2004, 2000, around there when they're in FSN.
So to Will's point about the bandwagoning thing. So I'm somebody who was a huge fan of TNA, mid 2000s, early 2000s, whatever. as a kid coming home Thursday night, that was the show. I started watching that more than I was watching WWE. Six-sided ring, X Division, all that, right? Watched it all the way up until probably, I don't know, 2013, 2014, something like that. And this is probably around the time when, that's when AJ, went, through his whole, darker phase or whatever, grew with the beard, grew out the hair and stuff like that. This was around the time when he left the company. So once AJ left, I watched it for maybe a couple of months after that, and then just stopped watching it. I just stopped caring. AJ left, I stopped caring. Then periodically throughout that, I watched here and there, but I just didn't like it. And then Impact Wrestling, I was like, I've seen it. I'm not really that impressed. That's just me. So hearing TNA Wrestling come back, for me, yes, it's the same company. I understand that. But for me, I guess it's the nostalgia flooding back, and it's the potential of what they could do to elevate what they already have now is what I'm excited for.
Yep.
There's a difference between saying what you just said and being like, as a fan, it wasn't my yum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like the people who shit on Impact and now all of a sudden they're coming back into it like, oh, they're the greatest X Division. Like, no, motherfucker. There's tape evidence used 6 months ago saying Impact couldn't compete just because they slapped 3 letters at the front of their name now. Like, that makes it different. That's what I mean by my argument about it is I feel like PCO is the perfect example. He's been with the company for a long time, signed a contract. He wants to ride the wave. There's a huge difference between people like you who are like, I just didn't like the product, so I stopped watching, versus the people who were shitting on it and then being like, oh, wait, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread now. Like, pick a side, bro.
And I give PCO all the credit. I mean, at his age, the way he works, like, holy
Love
shit.
PCO.
Like, my time span was my very last match that I watched was back in 2013, and it was when Chris Sabin won the world title. My first match
Bully
back,
Ray with a hammer.
Yep. And my very first match back was Bully Ray, Josh Alexander at Hard to Kill this year. So I had almost a 10-year, a little bit of shy of 10-year split. About 9 years and 6 months. But I still always read up on them and seen what they were doing. I was kind of like quietly in the background to see how they're doing. And I wanted to be a part of this. I did. As a fan, hell yeah. And I always keep an eye out to see if they're coming back around near my area, whether it's in Philly, Scranton, whatever. If I can make a 2-hour trip and I have the money to do it, best believe it.
Oh yeah. Well, one more thing I wanted to add too. I had told Mike about this, but back in the TNA days, I literally still have like a tote, probably like this big, probably this deep, and it's just of VHS tapes of when I used to record TNA wrestling. So I've probably got like 50 tapes still, just in my closet, just collecting dust. So yeah, I was a pretty big TNA fan back in the day.
Yeah,
Thank you for the sub, Jamie Rose. Thank you for the sub.
I had a really cool extensive talk about TNA last week. Awesome talk about TNA.
Oh yeah. Al, what you got?
Ric Flair had a verbal deal with Tony Khan all the way back in 2021 to go to AEW, but it was not the right time. Right time for him to be there following sexual misconduct allegations made against Flair on Dark Side of the Ring. His AEW debut was instead saved for Dynamite. He's gonna be around, unfortunately, for a while. I want my money back for Ric Flair's last match.
So my question is like, was it deemed as like his last televised match? Because I know he's worked a couple times after that.
No, it was advertised as literally his last match. Like he gave a speech, did the whole thing, like.
Because I know, like a week later, he worked in Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
he had a match.
Well, it was. Let me rephrase. It was his last American match, and then he was doing Puerto Rico,
like other places outside of the States.
I know Conrad Thompson's not going to be a dime back, Jamie.
I'm just gonna say I'd rather have Goldberg than fucking Ric Flair.
Did you say Gilbert?
Goldberg.
Oh.
Same difference.
Just a couple of things left. On RVD's podcast this week, he implied that he recently received a phone call from WWE where he got officially unbooked for next year's WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia as their response to his recent appearance in AEW.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so petty. That's so petty. Get out of here.
Wait, who?
That's
Rob
so-
Van Dam?
Yep.
Yeah. He was supposed to have an event connected with WWE for like a meet and greet type of deal, and it was through WWE. It wasn't even an independent thing. It was a WWE sponsored thing, and it got canceled because of his appearance on AEW.
Well, you don't want to be praising the other guy. I guess it's your biggest show of the year.
True.
Yeah, but he's not even an official roster member.
He's not even on the Legends deal.
He's playing tag team with Nepotism Kin.
Jesus Christ.
Per Fightful, the front runner city to host SummerSlam 2024 is Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh,
Right.
Fucking Ohio. What
That's
is Ohio?
what?
that's
Right,
drivable
good for
distance
Cleveland.
for Cam, so he's excited.
Fucking Twitch
Well,
con.
Because my mom's side of the family's from Columbus, so
That's a 7-hour drive for me.
give Ohio something, you know.
I've been to Canton a few times for drum corps camp, but I've never been like to very many places outside of that.
Because that's what I want to do is fly to fucking Ohio, like from the West.
During the summer. That
Just
sounds
get on your
terrible.
private jet, you fucking mogul. Like, I'm gonna have to gas up the jet to fly to Ohio.
You gotta give Cleveland something. They're not winning a NBA title anytime soon, so
No.
you know.
Meltzer's on his bullshit again about Randy Orton, claiming his suggested time frame for return to Survivor Series. Randy's doctor suggests that he retired due to back issues, but the 43-year-old Randy is hoping to continue wrestling and making money until he's 50.
What's up, Des?
Randy?
Dropping the subs. Holy crap.
Randy.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Randy.
5.
For Sammy's
6.
sake, I hope he comes back at Survivor Series.
Wait a second. So Randy wants to wrestle till he's 50.
6?
Yeah.
Correct.
Hold on 1 second. Des just gave us 6 subs, so that puts us up to 8 for the night already. We love you, Des. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hold on.
Yay, Des. Yay, Des. Round of applause for Desiree.
I do want to say one thing about Randy Orton. I don't miss him at all. I don't miss him.
Ooh.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
Now, as we close another episode of Botched and Chair Shots,
But Sean, like really, if it wasn't for Sammy, would you give a fuck about Randy Orton?
Actually, yes, I do miss Randy Orton. I actually do miss Randy Orton.
Where do you think?
But is it because you're influenced by your bestie?
No, legit, I miss Randy Orton.
He's
Like,
in denial.
I miss the RKOs out of nowhere. I miss someone to give Roman Reigns an actual legitimate challenge.
I'm pretty
James
sure that
Randy.
when Randy comes back, like even at whatever full capacity he will be at, I don't think that his full capacity is going to be able to compete with.
Well, I first thought he would come back
I
and rejoin
love
Riddle, but that got
Sammy.
fucked off.
Nobody wants to see that.
I honestly don't see
They can't
anywhere
fix each other's
anywhere
amazing.
he would fit in as far as any type of stories. Like everybody, like a lot of people are like, oh, he can get into a story with Cody. Like that story's been done since WrestleMania 26.
But they
That's
rehash
bizarre.
storylines every time. Like he could come back, and now that Cody's even better, he could be like, "Yeah, I'm better than my teacher now. I can beat my teacher."
I mean, I think he's definitely going to be back in a limited capacity, but he's not going to be able to go hard like he was before.
Okay, give him Gunther.
I
and
wanted
have
him. I wanted him to come back.
Shadow's daddy.
I wanted him to come back and destroy Matt Riddle, but that's not gonna happen now.
Yeah, fuck Matt Riddle.
Riddle,
Fuck you,
Riddle.
Shadow.
Shadow, you'd have a South Park character if you came on the show. What are you doing?
Did y'all hear that?
No.
What?
No, thank God.
Oh, you can't hear it. Shit, sorry, Shadow. It says Shadow's bad. He sent it to me. It was like, play this for Sean. Well, Sean, what was that? Shadows, as a huge ready were the fan, I'll say this. If they didn't even have plans for Edge creatively, what do you think they'd have a Randy? Just saying.
Exactly.
Oh,
heard it the first
Randy
time.
is more connected, like Triple H wise, like friends wise than Edge would ever be. So
They'd have absolutely nothing for Randy to do.
Shadow's daddy.
Lord. Okay.
Shadow's daddy.
So
I want royalties for that, by the way.
all right, here's my last one before our Ryback. Roman Reigns is not scheduled for Survivor Series after Crown Jewel. The next premium live event he's scheduled to wrestle at is Royal Rumble.
Okay. I'm used to having Roman like
Fuck
do
off.
his like whatever.
Even
he shows
Bruno
up when he
wrestled
wants
once a
to.
week.
That he did.
You know, at this point, I'm loving him not being on these shows. Why? Because the IWC just has a
What's up,
meltdown.
man?
I love it. It's hilarious.
Right?
Thanks for stopping by, brother. Good
I
to
think
see you.
I think it's funny.
Roman who? He's what's his name? The Wild Samoans. It's his kid.
Yeah.
Rikishi's nephew.
He's
He
the
used to roll with he was Jimmy and Jay's boy for a little while. He used to be the big dog.
disputed undisputed champion.
His last title defense was against Sami Zayn 15 days ago. And it was in a house show. Those aren't canon.
He's defending.
Okay.
House shows aren't real. Will, do you want to pull up my little Ryback Kentucky?
Did you send it to me?
I did.
Where's it at?
I sent it to you on TikTok.
All right. Give me a second. I gotta find it.
I love your Ryback moments.
I'll talk amongst yourselves for a second.
I mean, they're really funny, and he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
But like his TikToks are genuinely like comedy gold.
I mean,
This is exactly how much WWE.
So
is this the one where his royalty talk?
yes, he's using Steiner
okay.
math. He called Scott Steiner to help him figure out the bad math on his royalty check.
Oh
Hold on.
Jesus!
Let me change up my audio settings again.
Mhm. Hey guys, I got these really cool figures. You don't
Are they
need these.
Ryback?
Oh, those are cool.
No, that's
Oh,
dope.
that's sweet.
I got them for like $1.
Those
All
are
right, here
cute.
we go. You ready? We won't listen to this whole thing.
Yo, I'm the big guy,
Can
right?
you hear it?
And this is exactly how
Yes.
much WWE royalties
Of course you can.
actually pays. So this was my last WWE royalty payment that I got the other month. A couple interesting things here to look at. One, the name Ryan Reeves. They have refused to acknowledge me as Ryback Reeves ever since I legally had changed my name on any piece of, whether it's through the emails with their attorneys on the various things that we had going on or stuff like this. They keep it as Ryan Reeves.
Because that's your name.
So I've been off.
Now, he legally
TV
changed it to
7.5
Ryback.
plus years. And when I left WWE, they did not make any new Ryback merchandise. And after winning the trademark, they are now never allowed to make anything new with the Ryback trademark. But this right here is from the third quarter of October 2023, in which I made $289.88. Now, what did WWE actually make for the quarter? On this sheet right here,
All right, can you
WWE
pause
made
it?
$2,579.79.
Okay, so I want to point out this middle column is the royalty percentage. Okay, like it says it on the sheet. Okay, press play.
on the Ryback brand for the third quarter of October 2023. So I did the logical thing on this, and I gave my good friend, Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner, a call, and I go, Scotty,
That's
I
what you
go,
call
can
the
you help
math.
me kind of figure out this math of like what WWE makes compared to what talents make on the royalty payments. So Big Papa Pump goes, big guy, easy mathematics. He goes, you take the 35.79.79 and you divide it by the 289.88, and then you
That's
get the
not
rate
right.
at which WWE, what they make to what WWE talents keep. And he goes, holla if you hear me. So when you do the Steiner math on this, you get a number of 12.34.
Mm-mm.
And what you get with that is for essentially every $1 million that WWE makes on royalties, they pay the talent $81,000, roughly.
All right.
This is all ballpark. For every $10 million,
Yeah,
a
okay, you can stop
WWE
it. So that math is clearly not right.
No.
Well, if you look at it, and I wish I had a picture I could bring up, the royalty figures, it shows you he makes 0.256, 0.257, 0.458. All of those royalty points add up to about him getting roughly between 8 and 10%. In October, WWE sold like $3,000 worth of merchandise for Ryback.
No, that's for the whole quarter.
For
That's
the quarter.
for all of third quarter.
And then he made roughly about 8.5% of that at the 237, whatever it was. Like, but he's over here saying WWE's making millions and paying these guys pennies. No, nobody just buys your fucking merch, my dude.
I'm
Oh, is
shocked
he-
he still get royalties.
Well, it's not royalties from merch. It's royalties from people streaming stuff on Peacock
And
So-
buying DVDs and stuff.
and buying
So if
DVDs.
I go onto the network and watch a Ryback match, he gets like 12 cents for that match that I watched.
He
But
gets
is
pennies,
he-
yeah.
Is he bitching about making $81,000 though?
No, he was trying to use it as a hypothetical. Like if they made $1 million off of him, he would only see $81,000 off of it.
Okay, but still, that's still 81,000 more than I have. Like, I wouldn't be bitching about that. Like,
The funniest thing is that he called Scott Steiner
Mhm.
or pretended to call Scott Steiner, because I don't even know if Scott Steiner would answer his phone call, to help him with the math. So like $1 million, so 81,000 divided
doing
by.
math. Where's Katie when we need her? She can math for us.
What makes me kind of curious though is I think that's the only way he's making
Ryback
any type of
Steiner math.
royalties anymore is because I'm looking on the merch site. There's nothing as far as merch, no DVDs, no nothing with him on it.
Right. So they can't, because he copyrighted, because he legally changed his name,
They
and
can't.
they can no longer do merch for him. And so like they can't sell anything with him. And so all of these royalties he's getting is just from people rewatching episodes of him, like with him on it.
So the other night when I watched his Survivor Series match, when the Shield came in, he made 12 cents off of that.
Probably a percentage of 12 cents.
what
You're
happens if you skip
You're
his matches? Does he still get royalties?
You know, I don't know. I think it's if the paper. I think if it's played. I don't know if. Yeah, I don't know how all that works. I'm not even going to pretend to know how any of that works. But
No
yeah.
idea, Tommy. I don't know if he gets a percentage of the Nexus merch because he was in Nexus for a little bit or not. I have no idea.
Like shit sold on eBay and stuff. Obviously, he's and stuff that's like, you know, people sell illegally copyrighted things. Like obviously, he's not getting stuff from that. Like he would only get royalties from merch if WWE was actually still selling his merch, which they're not. Like there are no toys, nothing. Like they didn't reissue any of his figures or anything. So like he's literally only getting royalties from people watching old episodes and pay-per-views.
You're welcome, Ryback.
Last one.
That too.
All right, gentlemen. Well, we made it through the good part of the episode. Now it's just the fun stuff. This is the October month in review. This is really laid back, very very a la carte episode. Like, what I want to do is I want to cover our favorite moments of the month. So it's our favorite matches, our favorite superstars, our favorite stories, anything that you guys that you have that stands out in your mind. The one softball I always throw in October, there weren't a ton. So let's start with our favorite pay-per-views. So you're looking at like Bound for Glory, you're looking at Fastlane, you're looking at Wrestle Dream, like a ton of indie super shows. MLW had their Slaughterhouse pay-per-view on Saturday. NWA had a pay-per-view Saturday. Like, so let's kind of start there. When you look at the big gambit of all the pay-per-views that happened in October, where are you guys at with your favorite premium live event or pay-per-view for the month of October? Sorry, my brain reset for a second. AJ's out of the gate, says Bound for Glory right off the rip.
So the only two pay-per-views I seen was Fastlane and Wrestle Dream. So if I had to pick between the two, it would definitely be Fastlane. Fastlane would be my favorite out of the two.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off that. Fastlane was probably the one I'd go to.
I'm gonna say Fastlane just as an experience because I was there live. So.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, that recency thing. I love live shows, man. One of my favorites. Sean, you got to pick. You saw a lot of wrestling live. You got to see some specials for some super indies and stuff like that. So yours might be off the beaten path. What was your favorite show from October?
Well, I'll do two. I'm gonna do Pride Style Pro and the one I went to last night, which was Fighting Spirit Unleashed from New Japan.
Ooh. I like a good New Japan show.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Al, what about you? What was your favorite?
They're all pretty mid.
You're being very negativities. I need you to be more positivities.
I mean, I think that there were good and bad parts of each one. I wouldn't really say that one was inherently better than the other. I mean, I would say probably Fastlane because I fell asleep during Wrestle Dream.
Yeah, you did.
So I think AEW needs to kind of tweak how much they do on a pay-per-view. I think it gets a little too much. Like they're trying to pack too much into one card, but yet still not have any women.
Stop with the multi-man matches, for the love of God.
Dude,
that's what
yes.
they need to stop doing. Jesus Christ.
How many wrestlers can we smash into a single match?
Okay,
8-man matches, 10-man matches. Like,
Dude,
okay, enough.
You've watched a lot of New Japan stuff, Sean. Especially, you just saw a new show. New Japan books a lot of matches like that. Bo, you and I watched Wrestle Kingdom together, and we watched the G1 this year together. Like,
Yes, but New Japan does it in a way where it's not too much because the main show started at 7 p.m. right last night, and the main event ended at 10:30. So it wasn't that long of a show for having 10 matches on the card. So for a 10-match card to go 2.5, 3 hours like that Tony Khan can learn something, not make it 6 hours and have like the New Japan style and still have his multi-man matches where it's like quick, you know.
He's gotten better with that because he used to do a lot more matches, so he's gotten a little bit better. Not a whole lot, but a little bit.
Okay, I'm going to go off the beaten path with my pick. I'm going to say the best worked pay-per-view, meaning the best in-ring work, was Bound for Glory. I think they had the best matches, but I think my favorite show to watch, honestly, was Wrestle Dream. Like, I had a lot of fun with that show. Like, the build-up was cool. Edge's debut was cool. We got to see some cool, what was it? The Daniel Bryan match. That was cool. Like there was some fun stuff there. Fastlane was nice. Fastlane had one of my favorite matches, but I think overall I liked Wrestle Dream better. Next, and this is going to be real hard. I'm putting you guys on the spot. Okay. What was your favorite match in the month of October? All right. Looking back on it. I'll go first because I've got a couple that I wrote down. I'm getting ready to every year at the end of the year, Botched and Chair Shots does its month-end stuff where it's like our favorite match, our favorite pay-per-view, our favorite superstar, our least favorite superstar. Like it's the thing we do every year. So this year, I've been writing down all of the matches that were my favorite matches, okay? So looking at it right now, all right? So Ospreay and Bailey. AJ says Mike Bailey versus Will Ospreay. When you look at it right now, the ones that are on my list, Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr. from Wrestle Dream. Okay.
Yes.
Rollins Nakamura, Last Man Standing from Fastlane. Okay. The Darby Allin, Christian Cage 2 out of 3 Falls match from Wrestle Dream. Ospreay Bailey from Bound for Glory. And Omega MJF for the AEW World title at Collision last night. So those were 5 matches in October that were in my list. That doesn't mean they have to be one of your picks, but those were my 5, and I'll tell you which one was my favorite at the end of it.
You were spot on the head when it came to MJF. That one, MJF Adam Cole, like I said last night, or
Omega,
MJF and Omega. Like I said last night, I didn't want that match, but once I got it, I was like, all right, MJF can go with the bout machine.
Yeah.
Like Al's favorite wrestler.
For sure. Scal says Mello versus Ilya Dragunov.
That was a really good match.
Also a banger of a match. So I'm putting you guys on the spot. Where are you guys at with your favorite match for October?
So I've got a list as well. Will, I've got 3.
Go for it, Will. It's yours.
Scal's already said one of mine, Miller versus Ilya. Incredible match. The other 2 are maybe kind of odd, I guess, but they were on, regular program shows for AEW. One of those being Kenny versus Kyle Fletcher on Dynamite. I thought that was an incredible match.
Great match.
Another one was on Collision, I think, last week, and that was between Danielson and Andrade. Awesome match as well.
I also have a list. Forbidden Door 2, that was this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're just looking at October, though.
Oh, October. Okay. Well, fine.
We'll do a month. We'll do a year end at the first Sunday in January. You can come back and you can tell me. Yeah.
Okay, then I'll do Hanari versus Eddie Kingston from last night for the IWGP Strong Champion. Julia versus Hyen was a great match from last night. Also from FSW, we'll do Gypsy Mac versus Viva Van versus Alice Blair. It was a really good match.
So matches no one else will see.
No, you just don't go out and venture off and see those matches. So you got to get out of your WWE bubble.
But I don't like. I applaud you, Sean, because I watch a lot of ridiculous like screwball wrestling that nobody else watches. But you even make me look like I don't watch enough wrestling. Like
New Japan is in Vegas. You can watch on New Japan Pro or 1972 New Japan World.
It's
also, you can watch
$7.50 a month.
Yeah,
$9.99
Statlander Willow, also a great pick. Katie said Lyra and Becky, Statlander and Willow, both great matches.
Oh, Saraya and Hikaru Shida was pretty good too.
I was really happy with Hikaru Shida. Abaddon, it was a great, entertaining, like comedy match. Was that what you were gonna say, Bo?
That match was fire, dude. I loved it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That match to me, it was just, and I got to give it to Ritter. He's the one that like really put me back on Abaddon. But it was entertaining as shit. And their costumes were, Magnifique.
Abaddon for the face of the AEW Women's Division.
For sure.
Dude,
As spawned.
this
I
is
need her
like
as
a Yeselmania moment. Now that she's healthy and able to wrestle again, like the AEW fans are ravenous to get Abaddon back on the TV. I guarantee you, as over as she is, Tony Khan will put her in one of the 2 title scenes.
You know who I would love to see Abaddon against?
Who?
Max.
Fuck yes. God, that would be a great match. Max the Impaler versus Abaddon.
Oh, I was thinking like Max Caster.
No. No, Max the Impaler.
It took me a minute. I was, oh yeah, Max the Impaler.
Tony will
Rosemary.
not, says, because it makes too much sense, right, Scouts? Mike, did you give me an answer yet? He doesn't know how to book a women's division.
I did not. I have 2 matches. Both were pointed out. Darby Allin, Christian Cage from Wrestle Dream,
Yeah.
and Sheeta and Saraya at Title Tuesday on Dynamite.
Nice. The Title Tuesday stuff was a little bit. That was the 10-10 show, right? The whoopsie news it, the NXT versus Dynamite head to head. That was on the 10th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Sure.
Al, what about you? I think you're the only person who hasn't given me an
Yeah.
answer yet.
So mine are gonna be Seth versus Shinsuke at Fastlane.
Yeah, the fucking false count anywhere match.
The
or
last man
whatever. Last man
standing.
standing. Yeah.
This is, I'm sure, going to be unpopular, but I literally give 0 fucks. I really liked Io and Asuka and Charlotte.
There's nothing wrong with it. I thought it was a great match.
So
It didn't fit my equation though. For me to give a triple threat match a high enough grade, I have to feel like it has to feature all 3 people more than it features one-on-one spots. And I feel like that was a great match, but there was a whole lot of 1v1, and then Charlotte came back and beat the shit out of both of them, and then Io got the win. You see what I mean? It was like Charlotte versus Io, and then it was Io versus Asuka, then it was Charlotte versus Io and Asuka, then Io got the win. Like that was the evolution of the match versus starting with it being those 2 against Charlotte and building from there. I felt like they went backwards because you got to start with the 2 smaller women fighting the giant, and once they bring her down to an even playing field, that's when it goes haywire. And I felt like they booked it backwards. What the fuck do I know? I'm just a mark who cooks for a living.
I also really liked Kristen Statlander and Julia Hart. Julia has really come into her own with her character, and I really like it.
I'm a fan of Julia Hart.
Yeah, I'm gonna really get behind Julia Hart, and I think Sky Blue is going to be the next one that transcends to that dark side.
I'm here
If
for
they don't
it.
make her a top heel, they drop the ball.
I'm really looking forward to the House of Black being back on TV more. I know that'll make Katie Kinsey real happy. She's a big staunch supporter of the House of Black. I'm really excited for them to be back. My favorite match of the month was Ospreay and Bayley. I think that was the best technically sound match I saw. I think my favorite match for Pop was probably the MJF Omega match last night, dude. They went crazy. Omega and Max were both doing fucking moonsaults and shit. They were going big. When he went for the one-winged angel and MJF did the poison Rana out of it.
Yes.
And then Omega bounced out, no-sold it, and then poison Rana MJF. I was like, such a good match. So those are my 2 favorite. Katie says House of Black forever. The house always wins.
I
True.
did want to say the Gigi Dolan Blair Davenport match. So the match itself, like the work, was great. Those 2 women are amazing. But like, don't call it a lights out match if the lights are on, like with black lights and stuff. Like those are still lights, yo. Like just like the pitch black match. Like that wasn't like, I get it's a drink, yada yada yada. But like, don't say you're gonna have a lights out match if there are lights on.
Well, I'm going to be me, okay? I understand what you're saying and
Just
turning
call
the
it
lights
something
off.
else.
They could call it something else. The term lights out doesn't necessarily mean the lights on or off. This is my beef with it. Putting a lights out match in the middle of your card before your main event makes no sense because a lights out match is supposed to be unsanctioned. The lights are lights out, meaning the house lights are down. So everybody's leaving and they're just going to beat the shit out of each other. Like WWE took it literally, turned the lights off and turned a bunch of black lights on, which is ridiculous. Like they didn't. It was an unsanctioned street fight, is what they could have called it, or a street fight, or a Falls Count Anywhere match. To call it a lights out match implies that it happened after the show ended. Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, perfect example of that. Sean just got a boner because I mentioned her name. I can see it from here.
Fuck Britt Baker. But no, I mean, that match was really good. Like, I really liked that match. It just... Let's call it a blacklight match or whatever. Or blacklight street match.
The blacklight match?
You know what I mean? Like...
Call it a
something.
rave.
Call it a
Black Knight
rave.
Match sounds like something you shouldn't search up on Google.
Listen, call it a rave street fight. Whatever. I mean, it was cool. They were really good. But
What is the one team?
The Snickers Strip Club match.
Yeah, the Disco Ninja Sex Party. Which one? The ones they were like the Yeah Sisters. Ricochet's ex-girlfriend, the one he left for Samantha.
Katana Chance.
There you go. That's it. Disco Ninja Sex Party. They would be great for a fucking lights out disco rave. Casey Catanzaro. I like how my ridiculous descriptions of them and Matt's made up name is how you can figure out which wrestlers I'm talking about.
Tony Storm pulling an orange out of her gear.
Dude, that was dope as fuck. Where did you see that?
Shadow.
Yeah. But what does that have to do with Tony Storm pulling an orange out of her? You're absolutely right. I would make orange juice with that orange.
I love Tony Storm, and I think the idea of the gimmick is good. I just don't care for how they're doing it. Like it's too much.
I don't
know. Visually, she looks fantastic, and she's an amazing worker. Like visually, I love it. But the way that they're having to her act, like it just is cringe to me.
It's Tony Storm's. Yeah, it's Tony Storm's best work, and now that she's got her butler Luther with her, it just adds more to the character. I love it.
Al, I agree with you. And I think the one thing they're doing is taking away from it too, because I understand they're doing these silent films, but doing it during a commercial, I'm sorry, but the commercial is catching my attention more than Tony Storm is. Like I don't pay attention to what's going on when Tony Storm does her silent films.
Yeah. Exactly what Scal says. She left WWE because they smashed cake and pie in her face and made her do a food fight match. But like pulling an orange out of her asshole, like we're cool with that.
Can I say something really crude?
Sports entertainment.
Sure.
I would eat an orange out of Tony Storm's ass.
I knew you were gonna fucking say that shit. I knew you were gonna say that.
Hey,
Can I
that
say
is-
something really
make any
crude?
fucking sense.
Can I say something really crude?
Yes, Bo.
I would also, with Will, at the same time, eat the same orange out of Tony Storm's ass.
We don't yuck any yums here at Botched Fights and Chair
So-
Shots. I fucked up my own name.
It would make it make sense in a wrestling match.
Here's the real question though, right?
Wrong type.
I'm all about making stuff make sense. I'm a stickler for that, right?
But that's not the
But
point.
in the world of sports entertainment, right? Because that's what her character essentially is, right? It's a sports entertainment type gimmick, right?
Mhm.
We in the sports entertainment world of wrestling, we had to sit through a guy who put a Cobra sock puppet on his hand and do a finishing move. And we're really realistically supposed to believe that that's going to knock somebody out for a 1, 2, 3. So
Yeah, but the
Cobra?
difference is too
The
is
Cobra, yes.
they were able to sell the Cobra as merch, where I don't think you're going to sell an orange out of somebody's ass.
You
You'd be
chose-
surprised.
Fair.
You
You'd be
chose to
surprised.
bring up a Cobra versus the fact that 3 years ago they tried to convince us that Alexa Bliss had supernatural powers and could pull light rigs down on Randy Orton. Like you brought up, okay, he's going to do a version of Sacco that he's like, oh, I can do kung fu.
What
Like,
about Chris Statlander's an alien?
oh yeah, Chris Statlander's an alien. Chin up, tits out, and watch for the
Watch
shoes.
for the shoes.
So,
Maybe
Like,
I'm
we
birthing
had
a hand.
Mike,
Boom.
that orange is selling for $1,300 on eBay right now.
It's still real to me, damn
Worst
it.
way to
Yeah.
spend $100. I'm just saying right
Yo,
now.
we had
That
three
guy
guys
buys that orange.
That
come
is-
out in worker suits and called themselves the Mexicools. Like, come on, dog. Like,
We're not
You
Mexicans.
remember when they
but
came out on the
Mexicools.
fucking lawnmower? You know what I'm saying? Like the shit they were doing back in the day would not get over in 2023.
no.
No.
That is one chocolate covered orange I would not eat.
My issue with the Tony Storm thing is like they're, and I'm sure she's doing this on purpose, like the bad acting. It's just cringy to me. Like she's better than an over sexualized ditzy gimmick.
She's portraying what she said was, and I'll give her fucking credit for this. She said she's living her dream of being in a Buster Keaton match, and the fact that she said Buster Keaton and not Charlie Chaplin made me okay with it. The fact that she knew another silent film star, maybe the biggest one of all time, not named Charlie Chaplin. The fact that she named him and said she got to live her dream of being in a Buster Keaton movie, I was like, fuck it. Let her have her fun. Tom, it's good to see you. Hope things down under are good, bud.
Like visually, it's amazing. Like she looks stunning.
Agreed.
And the silent film stuff, like I hate that it's on the picture-in-picture because you can't fucking see that shit. You know what I mean? It's just when she comes out, that's really the only part I can't stand. It's like when she comes out and she talks. Like it's fucking terrible.
At least she has a character now, and she seems to be having fun, and that's all that matters. Because at the end of the day, we just want the wrestlers to have fun, guys.
Yep.
Still not good.
All right, so we did favorite pay-per-view, we did favorite match. This is a fun one. Who do you think had the best month wrestling-wise? Who was your favorite superstar? Who had the best matches? Who had the best storylines? Who do you think had the best month of October as far as a wrestling personality? Fuck it, add a commentator in there, you know, like, what's his name? College Game Day. He played punter for the Indianapolis Colts. Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee came back. That was a big pop. Who had the best month of October wrestling wise?
So I want to jump on this real quick because this man, I always say it, I was a fan of him when he was in WWE, but the past month, his promo work has gotten great. His in-ring has been freaking amazing. I hope they stick with the path that he wants to be on, and they've been promoting to us. Swerve Strickland has been
On a fucking rocket,
my
dude.
top fucking guy in the month of October, and maybe the end of September, maybe beginning of September. I mean, these last 2 months for him has just been gold. And I really hope they stay the path with him. I really, really do. I really do. He was mine.
Oh yeah. Somebody start talking. I'll call names.
LA Knight.
L.A. Knight. Yeah.
I just think he's every month he progressively gets better.
Yes, he does. And he started that long about 2017.
Yep.
Hola, Sammy. ¿Cómo estás, mi amor? D'Angelo
So-
family. Oh, I got to show Sammy the picture. Go ahead, Cam. I'm listening.
So I had to really think about mine, but I think mine's is going to be Swerve. I think mine's going to be Swerve. Swerve is on the up and up, I think, and they have the potential to make him a top heel right now. So yeah, mine's a Swerve for right now.
Just picture. We made Sean's South Park character, and his shirt says, "I love Sammy."
Great, fantastic.
I had to say
I think I was gonna pick Swerve, so I'm gonna just stick with that.
So we've got 3 swerves in an LA Knight.
I love Swerve. Like I liked him in Hit Row. I don't know. I just like what they're doing with him. And he's great in the ring. So
Okay, so
So,
that's 3 swerves and a.
so you know me, I like to be different, and Jack Spo took mine, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Jay Uso with the help of Cody Rhodes, because you know, yeet.
Yeet.
That was the fucking best.
There's zero shock here. Let me ask one of the random people. Anybody in the chat, Cam, Mike, Al, who was my favorite wrestler in the month of October?
Oh, so we got to guess.
No,
who
I'm
your-
asking you guys. Who do you think was my favorite wrestler in the month of October?
Jay Uso.
I think your favorite was Kenny Omega.
Look at me, Will. Will, look at me. We've watched a lot of wrestling. Silas Mason.
You're absolutely fucking right. I have 2 picks. Scowls, Shadow, you guys are both absolutely right. MJF is always my go-to, but if you get outside of WWE and AEW, and I preach a whole lot to try to get out of AEW and WWE, and all of these guys are great picks. Ospreay, Orton, MJF, Gable, all of those are great picks.
Can I add to mine then, since you did that?
Yeah, what's up?
Since I just watched it today, can I add Father James Mitchell doing coke on live NWA TV?
Okay.
Dude. Go ahead, Al. I'll give you mine once you get done. I was reading off the chat and stuff. So Father James Mitchell pounded whiskey and did a bunch of coke last night in NWA. What you think about it?
Okay, look. So like he used to be the manager for Chris Kanyon, who, you know, died of a little drug overdose. Do we not think that that's mildly in poor taste?
It's really
Absolutely.
fucking corny, dude.
Absolutely.
You really made the room quiet on that
I
one.
know.
It absolutely
You got
is.
the wheels fucking spinning there.
I'm just saying.
This is the dude who put the fucking 10 pounds of gold on Tyrus and left it there for the better part of the year.
I just.
My mic stand just broke.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh shit!
But
Well, happy
the good thing
subathon.
the good thing is, my lights are held up by other mic stands.
He's got a pulley system.
That's amazing.
So what I'm going to have to do is, if you see me fumbling, it's because I'm changing mic stands.
I lost my train of thought. My favorite wrestlers, MJF, always my favorite. But outside of MJF, I would definitely say that Silas Mason. When you look back at 75, his come up after winning the Luge Battle Royale at, you know, it was the Chicago show, the NWA 312. He won that to become the #1 contender. He lost to Tom Latimer. Tom gave the belt up. Silas fought his way back up. He won the belt at 75, and he's been on a fucking mad shoot going through the locker room, building to what I feel he'll be a viable contender. So Silas Mason, in my opinion, has had the best month in wrestling. I will say, though, and I'm doing this because I want to clip it, and I need somebody to clip it for me. It breaks my heart that he left Pollo Del Mar. Pollo is a big fan of the show. I love Pollo, and he just broke Pollo's poor little heart, and it hurt my heart. That's it.
You caught me off guard because here's the reason why I say this is because I believe it was you. So don't quote me on this, but I believe it was you that this past month you were pretty heavy on Kenny Omega. That's why I say Kenny Omega.
I'm real heavy on Kenny Omega. He's had a ridiculous year. He's right now, I would say, in my opinion, without having my notes in front of me or my research, I would say it's a 2-horse race for Wrestler of the Year between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay right now. Both of them have done nothing but put out banger matches. The Boomaye Fight Club, the NLW World Heavyweight Champion, big fan of the show, also super over. He had a fantastic month. Akira Tozawa had a great month. That's really it, guys. Like, we did it. Like, we made it. We're there. But we still have 46 hours and 14 minutes. So for the first time of many, let's plug ourselves on Live on Air. Mike, I'm going to start with you. Tell everybody where to find you, what you got going on. What's up with the Table Spot in Rivet City Red Zone?
Alrighty, so about 10 minutes, Table Spot starts. Same crew that you see here now is going to be on the Table Spot. Our first hour is going to be pretty much talking about the top 10 of the women's PWI. And what I have you guys doing is coming up with who you think should be in the top 10. And then in hour number 2, we are going to do Crown Jewel predictions and preview. And then as far as Rivet City Red Zone is going to be doing a special Monday morning quarterback edition tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Me and Johnny H will be on from 8 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. So we're going to be recapping the stuff that happened today in the pros. We're going to give you a preview of Monday Night Football, and we are going to go over the new top 25 for the CFB because some teams got back into the rankings. Some new teams are in the rankings. Some teams moved up. Some teams moved down. So we got a lot to talk about.
I'm not ready for Monday.
Cam, you're up, my friend.
Well, you can find me on TikTok at Cam's Wrestling Corner and at Call Me Cam G. You can find me right here on Rivet City Radio every single Wednesday night with the Boom, and on the Table Spot on Sunday nights, and on Off Top Media, our sister channel, on every single Friday night with Friday Night Review. I am on Twitter, Cam and Cheese 317, and I am on Instagram at 317 Bacon, Eggs, and Cam.
My man, the Sin City Wolf, Sean B.
You can catch me in about 5 minutes on the Table Spot. And you forgot to mention in hour 2, we have a very special guest coming on to help us with predictions, and the beautiful Sammy. Also, you can catch me on Wednesday nights on Rivet City Radio, or Wednesday afternoons, I should say, at 3 p.m. my time, with this handsome bastard over here, Will Gray. And you can catch me on the Alpha Wolf Sean B 2.0 on Instagram, and on TikTok, the Alpha Wolf Sean B.
Jaxpo, can you talk?
You're muted though.
Yeah, I can talk.
Okay. Plug your stuff.
You can find me here every Sunday on Botched Chair Shots. Tuesdays for Nerdy News at 4:20. Off the Top Media for NXT on Taps. Monday nights for Sorry for Your Interruption. Anything else, follow me on Twitter at Jaxpo2020.
Ow.
You can find me always here on Rivet City Radio, Bosch Bitch Trivia on the Thursdays. You can also, we should do a special trivia now that I think of it during this.
You want to do trivia during the subathon for fun?
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be fucking great.
Also, clearly here on Bud Spots and Chair Shots, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at justagirl918. Again, looking for a Jey Uso figure. Have a Jimmy. I need a Jey. I'm going to open it to preface. So please let me know if you have one. I will purchase or negotiate some sort of trade situation.
I'm going to put it in the chat after we go off air, and I'm going to offer something up as trade if somebody orders it off of Amazon for us.
They're $50.
Are they $50? Okay, maybe not.
I might have something I could trade someone if they'll find it. I got some Gen 1 AEW figures.
We'll talk off air. We've got a little bit of a layover before we'll kick off the Table Spot. We'll figure it out. Well, as always, no free shout outs, but I'm going to shout out my friends first and foremost. You should follow Creation World. That's CRETIA World. That's my boy Matt Ritter. That's Lord Cusselot, Travis Pointer. That's Katie Kinsey, baby, SES Vince, Mara Shark Watkins, all of my people over there. Follow Off the Top Media. That's Shadow and Scows and Jamie Cam, all of our boys at Off the Top Media. Follow the Fanatics Network. Follow the Bloodline Network. Follow all of our friends, Wrestling with the Truth and Ted the Hillbilly Hill. Both great shows. Make sure you check our guys out. If you're one of the people who want to hang out in Discord, check the link in the description. That's your direct link to the host, to the producers, to all your personalities from Rivet City Radio. There's also a merch link for angrylemonade.com/botchbots and share shots. Most importantly, though, sub for us with that Amazon Prime subscription. Jeff Bezos has way too much money. We're during the subathon. We're all raising money for various reasons. Me, Bo, and Al are trying to get to Tampa for the Royal Rumble. So hang out. You can donate money there at PayPal, at Botched Spots, or at Venmo at Allison.Siegel. You can send us cash, Allison-Siegel. You can send us cash tips there if you want. Anything will help. Anything is loved. Anything is appreciated. Ladies, gentlemen, do you have anything for the class before I start talking real fast?
Stay tuned. Table spot coming up next.
3. Thank you for the Prime. Husky Rhodes coming in clutch. That's number 7 on the guide. Subs. 3, 2, 1. Now, as we close another episode of Botched and Cheer Shots, take a minute. Thank you for listening. I remind you to go wherever you do anything on the internet. Like, follow, subscribe, unsubscribe, then subscribe again. Leave a comment telling us that Sean's in love with Sammy or that Tommy likes the fucking cowboy boots. Either way, it helps the algorithm and helps find new listeners. If you're feeling really generous to be one of the VIP people, have a patreon.com and donate to the Rivet City Radio Podcast Network. You get some fantastic swag. We get some fantastic guests. It's a win-win for our boys from the Table Spot, Metalcore Mike, Zodiac, KMG, and the Sin City Wolf, Sean B. We also got the Ginger Ninja Jax and the Boss Bitch Owl. I am the Will Gray. I'll see you in like 42 seconds, my people.